Ready? Oh, okay.
Good morning, class. And then our erasers just kind of.
Do you know the sine of 75 degrees?
No.
What do you think we should do?
Add 2. Add 2.
No, we don't add 2 on. Since 75 degrees is not a known angle, we should use 2 angles we know. What are 2 angles we know that add to 75?
45 and 30.
Okay, so do you think we should do this?
What?
Huh? We had to get like take extra time in circles, that's why. We're not very good.
Does that look right?
No.
If you did it.
Written like this instead. This is known as a sum and difference. It has to be written like this so you can use it for the sum and difference identities. Identity for a sum and difference of a sine, when you split the angle, you split it into 2 different angles. We'll use A and B. So for a sum, you do sine of A, cosine of B, plus sine of B, cosine A. And for a difference, you do sine of A, cosine B, minus sine B, cosine A. The example we used before, sine of 75 degrees is an unknown angle. So what 2 angles can we split this into, Sarah?
30 and 45.
So now following the top equation, tell me what answers to fully.
The sine of 30
Because it's the sine of the first and the
times the
cosine.
cosine of 45 plus the sine of 45 times the cosine of 30.
So now after this, you use the numbers based on the unit circle and get the signs of each of the numbers.
The sine of 30 is 1/2 times radical 2 over 2
Wow, you know your unit circle.
plus radical 2 over 2,
There's a sine of 45.
and then the cosine of 30 is radical 3 over 2.
Now from here you multiply. So
Radical 2 over 4 plus radical 6 over 4.
and when you add fractions, they have the same base.
So it's radical 2 plus radical 6 divided by 4.
And that is the sine of 75 degrees. The identity formula of a sum and difference of a cosine. So for this identity, you have to split the angle up again into A and B, but the difference is for a sum, it's cosine of A, cosine of B, minus sine of A, sine of B, so they switch signs. And for a difference, it's cosine A, cosine B, plus sine A, sine B. For the identities, you can not only use it for degrees, but also for radians. And we don't know this cosine of 7 pi divided by 12, it's another unknown. So we can do this by using the known radians that we do. And to do this, we can convert each of the known radians to 12, since they are not in 12s already. And so they each go to like 4 multiplied by 3, 6 by 2, 3 by 4, and 2 by 6. And so Hannah, for a cosine of a sum, which 2 of these can we use?
Pi divided by 4 and pi divided by 3.
And that's because,
3 pi divided by 12 plus 4 pi divided by 12 equals 7 pi divided by 12.
nice job. So now following the equation, tell me what I should do.
Cosine of pi divided by 4
The first,
times cosine of pi divided by 3
minus, because they switch signs,
sine
sine,
of pi divided by 4 times sine of pi divided by 3.
and now we get the value of each of these, which is cosine of pi divided by 4
Radical 2 divided by 2
times
1/2.
minus,
Radical 2 divided by 2. Radical 3 divided by 2.
and now we just multiply these numbers and we get radical 2 divided by 4 minus radical 6 divided by 4. And they have the same denominator, and you can simplify it to this. And that is the cosine of 7 pi divided by 12. We're going to do the cosine of a difference, and pi divided by 12 is an unknown angle, so we're going to use the converted radians from the other quadrants instead of just the first quadrant. So what can we break this down to?
We can break it down into cosine of 5 pi divided by 6 minus 3 pi divided by 4.
And following the equation, we're going to go step by step.
Cosine of 5 pi divided by 6 times cosine of 3 pi divided by 4
Now, since it's a difference,
plus
plus we switch the signs. We got the right toolbox.
sine of 5 pi divided by 6 times sine of 3 pi divided by 4.
We're just going to find the values of these numbers, and the cosine of 5
Negative radical 3 divided by 2
times,
negative radical 2 divided by 2
because cosine in the second quadrant is negative,
plus 1/2 times radical 2 divided by 2.
and then just multiply these numbers
Radical 6
because it's negative times negative,
divided by 4 plus radical 2 divided by 4.
and then this simplifies to
Radical 6 plus radical 2 divided by 4.
we all make mistakes. And that is cosine of pi divided by 12. The identity for a sum and difference of tangent. And for the sum of a tangent, you do tangent of the first plus tangent of the second divided by 1 minus tangent of the first tangent of the second. And for a difference, you do tangent of the first minus tangent of the second divided by 1 plus tangent of the first times tangent of the second. Since tangent of 15 is an unknown angle, we are going to do either sum or difference. So for Hannah, what do you recommend we do?
Tangent of 60 degrees minus 45 degrees.
Okay, and that gives you 15, and it's a difference. So what should we do based on the equation?
Tangent of 60 degrees minus tangent of 45 degrees divided by 1 plus.
Plus, 'cause
Plus.
this-
Tangent of 60 degrees times tangent of 45 degrees.
and now we just get the values of these numbers. So tangent of 60 is
Radical 3 minus 1 divided by 1 plus radical 3 times 1.
and then we have to simplify this.
So radical 3 minus 1 over 1 plus radical 3. But you can't have radicals in the denominator.
So we have to,
Multiply by the conjugate.
very smart. And multiplying by the conjugate is just multiplying by 1. And then you FOIL this out, and you get divided by, and for when you multiply the denominators, you do a squared plus b squared, and it just takes a lot of work out. So this will give you 1 minus 3.
Yeah. Sorry.
And then you just simplify this further, and then you get
Negative 4
negative 4.
plus 2 radical 3 divided by negative 2.
And then you can simplify this more and get
2 minus radical 3.
and that is the tangent of 15 degrees. can use identities for starting with an unknown angle, but you can also condense them when you are given a problem like this. So Sarah, which identity is this one?
The cosine of a sum.
Okay, so we're going to use this one, and when you condense this, you end up with,
Cosine of 60 degrees.
because you added,
What?
50 and a 10.
yeah. And then we can further simplify this to
1/2.
Here's another example of a condensing problem. Sarah, which identity is this?
Tangent of a difference.
So since it's a tangent of a difference, we have to subtract A and B. So the answer will be,
Tangent of 239 degrees.
this is another example where you have to draw the triangles to find the missing values. And we're finding a sum of a cosine of x plus y. And we have to plug in what we already know. So Hannah, what do we know already?
We know cosine y is 4/5, and sine of x is 7/25.
So now to find sine of y and cosine of x, we have to draw the triangles again. And this tells you where to put the triangle, and this one falls in the second quadrant. So we draw the bow tie,
Bow tie.
and sine is
Opposite
opposite.
over hypotenuse, so 7 and 25.
And this is a special triangle, and it's a 7, 24, 25. But since it's going to the left,
It's negative.
so. And then cosine of y is going to land in the fourth quadrant because it's between 2 pi and 3 pi divided by 2. So you draw the bow tie. Sine is adjacent divided by hypotenuse, and we write
Adjacent is 4.
hypotenuse is 5.
So you
And-
know that the opposite has to be negative, and it'll be -3.
Now we can find the cosine of x using the triangle we drew, which is,
Negative 24/25,
and the sine of y,
3/5. -3/5.
negative 3 because it goes down. Instead of, now we just multiply each,
Negative 96 divided by 125 minus negative 21 divided by 125.
since it's minus a negative, they become a plus, and this simplifies to,
Negative 75 divided by 125, which can simplify to -3/5.